Alright, click the links to join us over on Subscribestar, Telegram, Gab TV, the various other Odyssey, Bit Chute, and Shing eventually, and Locals and all these other sites. Their Telegram is kind of the main one. So if I understand this right, what happened with Nick Rekieta and his channel getting yeeted temporarily, maybe not temporarily, is an issue of a conflict between YouTube's terms of service and your due process rights as a citizen. What happens is he's a member of the bar, and you can file complaints against a member of the bar in an attempt to get them censured or even disbarred. There's a huge misunderstanding with law in general among lay people who think one of the big misunderstandings is the concept of entrapment, though it's not related to here. That's really hard to prove. But something is, yes, if you have an attorney, you have a attorney-client relationship, you have some complaint, you can let the bar know, and they will try to clear it up for you. Or if you're, like in this case, they don't have a relationship, because I think he's just a YouTuber now. But they're trying to, like, essentially false flag him by writing letters to the bar. But the concept of due process, the bar is a state agent, and they have to provide information on who they are, and that's public information, because you have the Sixth Amendment right to face your accusers. So you've got the Fifth, 14th, and Sixth Amendment, and the First Amendment at play here. The concept of someone made a complaint, you have the right to examine the complaint, face your accusers, examine the evidence, cross-examine, all this kind of stuff. You have the full right to due process. They can't just they can't just punish you without due process. That's in the Bill of Rights. So if these people are, for some reason, they have it out for Nick Rekieta, I don't listen to him. I like him, but I just don't listen to him. I'm not listening to a bunch of, I don't listen to big channels anymore, pretty much. And I'm more on Shing and Odyssey listening to those guys, because that's like, it's just nice to have freer speech. And yes, that occasionally means some objectionable language, but that's what comes with free speech. We're not snowflakes. So for some reason, he must have upset, I think, the Keffels crowd and the Kiwi Farms. He was tied into that, and he's talking about things. Now, Nick Rekieta I like quite a bit, because he platforms a bunch of different people, including people who are at, he doesn't take sides too much, and he's always, from what I've seen, reasonable and adult about platforming people and helping people with small channels. He seems like a pretty level-headed guy, but he trolls the left. He'll post photos like him with a big cigar in his mouth, and I love cigars also. And it's meant to evoke a certain image of, like, just this pompous jackass who's looking down on people. But you listen to his channel, and it's like, that's not him. The whiskey glass and the cigar. It's meant to push a certain image of this, this person's, what it is. But then you listen and you're like, yeah, he's just doing that. I think he had a picture with him and Vic and the other Ty Beard, I think, with the cigars and the whiskey, and like, they're tweaking the nose of left-wing people, these soy boys who look at those, who probably themselves drink whiskey and smoke cigars, but don't post pictures of it. It's like, it's meant to tweak these people's noses, and they fall for it. And then you listen to them like, oh, these are just normal, reasonable people. They're not as his image portrays, and it kind of proves the point of, so the left wing is judging the book by the cover. Yeah, of course they do. They do that all the time. They do it with beautiful people too, as I knew when I was younger and better looking. So for whatever, I think he got the Keffels people upset. He got the Vic Mignogna people upset, and whoever else, Amber Heard, Johnny Depp. Like, he seems to pick up any hot case, anything that's topical, as well as a pop culture channel should. He's kind of pop culture and law, but. And there's going to be, like, who's that girl? Captain Marvel, Brie Larson. If you do something about her, if she's racist, sexist, and ageist, if you use her name in the title or her picture, her fans will come and just copy paste these long responses about why she's not actually racist, sexist, and ageist, when indeed Brie Larson is very, very anti-white, as well as she's just a horrible person, really. But I'm not going to use her name or comment or thumbnail, so they won't find this video. Though maybe Nick Rekieta's name will kind of bring them in. So he must have offended these people who called or wrote letters to the Bar Association, where this is not like a 911 call. You're making a formal accusation against somebody of some sort of malfeasance, and of course they don't have a relationship each other, but they're trying to say something he said on his YouTube channel. Now, here's the thing: state employees also have free speech. There's different circumstances for that if you work for the prisons or you work in the court system, and there's different circumstances. But in this circumstance of him discussing cases in general, you can say almost anything he wants. What gets attorneys in trouble is the biggest issue is financial commingling. That means you're holding clients' funds in trust, and you don't release them to yourself. And there's rules of professional responsibility you have to follow, and it's the yearly updates you take. I forget what it's called. Continuing legal education to stay up with the rules of professional responsibility. And there's constant conflict between attorneys and the bar association itself, which is very left wing. Like right now, they're doing stuff with, these kind of globalist themes of everything's Islamophobic and you have to talk about your privilege. It's like, well, you still have the right to free speech. You don't have to get on board with that. And people end up suing the bar association. It's like, it's constant infighting, but it's all kind of behind the scenes. But anyway, everyone, you still got the First Amendment, Fourth Amendment, Fifth Amendment, Sixth Amendment, all those free speech, due process, right to face your accusers, and all that kind of stuff. So when these people they write a letter to the bar set, or I guess the website, to report Rekieta for something, it's like they're not reporting him for anything. That the bar is the only thing that would get you censored ignore that, would get you disbarred would be something to do with client funds, something where you're ripping them off or you're commingling funds. That's something you just never ever do, and some other stuff. But it's like, really, I mean, you've got cases of people who were felons, and then they petitioned the bar to get to become attorneys even after they served the time. They were felons because they thought they should be allowed to practice, and they were allowed. In some cases, it was like some drug smuggler case where he turned his life around, and there's no reason to bar him from taking part in the legal system, because it's easy. Like, these are all very heavily constitutional guaranteed rights that lawyers also have as well. So they're sending in these complaints to the bar, but it's just meaningless. Like, they can't do anything about it, even though the people who are taking the complaints are probably left wing too, but there's just nothing they can do. So legally, no, he's not going to get in trouble. So what allegedly he did was take the information, this is like publicly available information, and said he was going to talk about it either on YouTube or in his locals channel or something like that. So that violated YouTube's terms of service, though I suspect he's going to get his channel back because it's public information. It's not, I mean, it all depends on what their terms of service is, but he's probably going to be okay. I mean, if I was him, it's like, he's making so much money off YouTube. I wouldn't be pushing things that far. But he's very much his own person, and he's got locals, and now there's like Shing and Odyssey and all these other platforms. But the money, the YouTube money that he's got coming in is, I mean, it's just unreal, the amount of money he's got coming in on live streams and things. Anyway, so that seems to be the summation of the issue: a conflict between the YouTube's terms of services and the your constitutionally protected rights, which obviously YouTube can ignore as they wish. But I think he'll get the channel back, because it's a case of, do they want to ban you for making publicly available information? It's part of his due process rights to be able to release the information. So I don't know. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. See you guys next episode.